Hey, what's up guys? Welcome in. Today we're going to be working on site here, and we're working on this 2013 F150 Lariat. This Lariat is equipped with the 5.0 liter engine, the V8, and we're going to be doing a spark plug change today. Now, the spark plug change on this engine actually looks pretty straightforward and simple compared to some spark plugs that I've changed in the past, so it should be a pretty straightforward job, but it's a very important job. And even though it's a simple maintenance, it's one that you want to do with confidence and one that you want to make certain you have the right facts behind. In this particular engine and this range of model years, Ford suggests to replace spark plugs every 60,000 miles. Now, that may not be your thing. Personally, I tend to replace spark plugs a little sooner than every 60,000 miles, but that's at least the recommendation. You're going to be torquing down your spark plugs using a torque wrench. It requires 11 foot-pounds. So all of those things are important. You may not use a torque wrench on your spark plug change. Might just do it the old school way. Today, we're going to see what we get into on this 2013 F-150 spark plug change. Let's get after it. All right, so we're going to start taking these bolts and electrical plugs apart. What I would suggest doing is starting on one side of your engine and then working towards the other side. The reason I like doing that is it just helps me stay organized, knowing that I'm doing one side in totality before going to the next side. So as you can see here, we've got 4 plugs going all the way down here to the back of the engine bay. The one in the back obviously is typically a little bit more difficult to get to, but I think we're going to have enough room here. Now, another particular thing here with F-150s is the connection on the electrical connection. You see here that this connector is held onto the boot. We've got a bolt here as well as this connector. It has a red clip. What you'll need to do on that red clip is you can either do it with your fingers or take a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to want to pry up right there. As you can see, it comes loose. And that's as far as you'll need to go. There's a little stopper right here, a little red stopper, and that stopper is just to indicate don't push any further. If you happen to be aggressive with it and push further in an upwards motion, you're going to lose that red clip, that keeper clip, and as you can see, that's happened on this one here before we started today. So you don't want to push up and lose that clip. If you do, it's going to be hard to get it back, and you'll have to find a way to replace it. Now, once you do that, we'll show you the proper tip here to get this connector loose. So we're going to go ahead and loosen up all these 3 red clips here and then start taking these bolts out. Again, just pushing up, getting underneath, and a gentle pry, upward motion. Now you can see all 3 of them there are loose. All right, this is a 5/16 here that we have to loosen these up. All right, if you stay there, I'm going to get the other one. Just loosen this one up here in the back and get it loosened up to where you can just finger loosen it from there. A lot easier. What we're going to do here is, you see there is this middle bar, if you will, really. It's this black piece. Once you have this red tab pushed up, you'll want to compress this tab, this black tab here, compress it down. When you compress it down, inside this chamber here is a tab that's locked over another holding piece here. That's going to lift that up within here. So once you push this down, it lifts up inside here, and you can apply pressure at this point upwards to pop that off of the boot here. So we're going to push down. Try to get a good view here. Push down. And pry it upwards. There we go. Okay, now we're going to come to this forward one here. We'll do the same thing. Push down. And this one's being a little bit more stubborn. Oh, it's got this piece broken, that's why. So, I don't know if you can see that, but there's that little red piece stuck in there. We're gonna have to get that free here before we do anything else. So I'm gonna go back to this one in the back. Push down. And you know what, I'm gonna get that other screwdriver. And I'm gonna use 2 screwdrivers here. Push down with one. And pry up, there we go. Okay, let's go back to this front one and see if we can't get this piece out that's stuck in there. There we go. So that red piece that was stuck down in that channel was causing essentially a blockage. So we actually couldn't get it off if we wanted to. So we're gonna have to play around and see. Yeah, we got it. Good. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna get a ladder here and get that one in the back. All right, now that you have all of them free, just loosen them up, make sure they're not obstructing. And what we can do by pulling the boot out is simply grab it from underneath here and pry. And there you go. That one actually looks to be in very good condition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these out. I'm gonna take them out one at a time. The reason is I don't want to get these boots mixed up and end up putting a boot back on the wrong place. I like to keep them in the same area that they came out of. So we're going to go ahead and put this up top here and work on getting the plug out. All right, so we've got a 5/8 inch plug socket here, deep socket, 12-inch extension on a 3/8 drive here. There we go. Boy, that thing was, man, that was awfully tight in there. I don't know if you guys could hear that pop when it came loose, but you know, I've taken a lot of spark plugs out, and that was, that seemed like it was over torqued, possibly, what I would say. We'll see how it looks when it comes out. Okay, let's see if we've got it yet. Yep, we sure do. All right, let's take a look. Well, one thing's for sure, she's worn. Try to get as, yeah, there we go. Nice and brown and toasted. Here, I'll adjust it to the camera here. Yep. All right, let's grab a new one we can compare. So, as you can see, big difference here. This one's definitely toasted, and it's time for a change, regardless of how many miles it's been in there. Nice thing about these spark plug deep sockets is there is a rubber gasket down in there, and that rubber gasket acts to actually hold the top of the spark plug in place so that it doesn't fall out. So it's different than just a normal socket, normal deep socket. So if you don't have one of these, definitely get one before you attempt a spark plug change job. All right. Nice and easy back in the chamber. Now, what I like to do is put it in there, and then I like to just use my hands and lightly get it started and threaded. The reason for this is because if you go too fast and you put that spark plug down there at an angle and you just start ratcheting down on it real quick, you could cross thread your spark plug and your block and strip it out. And if you do that, you will regret it eternally. That is probably the worst mistake you could ever make. So definitely do not do that. So that's why I like to do this. I just take it easy, and that way I can feel very, very accurately feel if I am threading in properly. So once you get it started and threaded properly, you can go ahead and put your ratchet back on and finish it. Now in this case, I'm going to try to use my torque wrench to see if we can reach 11 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to get it just nice and kind of taut here and take this out and see if we can swap it over. All right, so we've got our torque wrench out, and you can see here that it is set to 11 foot-pounds. So that's the 10 here that goes down, and then what you do is you turn it until you get to the 1. So 10 plus 1 is 11. Lock it in place, and we're going to go ahead and stick it in here. And that's it. So just so you guys are fully aware, once you put your torque wrench on, as you start to pull it, you'll hear a click. And that click means you've reached your torque and you don't need to go any further. So we've reached 11 foot-pounds. We can take it out and go on to the next one. We're gonna put the boot back and install it back into the chamber. You're gonna put it back in the exact same way it came out. So pretty obvious here, pretty straightforward. When you get it seated correctly, you're gonna hear just a little snap. Probably didn't hear that one, it was very gentle. Obviously you're gonna line up this hole so that the bolt can go in properly. And what I like to do is go ahead and put that bolt in and then put on the electrical snap connector there afterwards. Starting this by hand is probably the smart choice here. Otherwise, you could lose it. And if it doesn't fall out the bottom of your engine bay, then you're just gonna waste a bunch of time trying to hunt down this thing. In worst case scenario, you lose it and can't find it, and then you're gonna be testing your religion at the end of the day. I'm not gonna use a torque wrench on this. I'm just gonna torque it down until I feel like it's nice and snug there. Not over torquing it, because this is a plastic connection. So, you know, if you get too aggressive on a plastic connection, you're risking cracking that. If you crack that, then you gotta replace this entire thing. And I would assume that they're not cheap and probably not easily available at your local store. So we're gonna snap that back in, and that one's done. Now we're gonna move on to number 2. All right, second one here, same process as the first. So we're gonna look, and yeah, that looks good. Since we've done the first one and we know exactly what to expect, I'm not going to talk through this. We're just going to get in there and get it done. Good heavens. Well, that's 2 for 2 on needing the Incredible Hulk to get that loose, so that was in there tight. All right, let's see if we've got this one out now. And we do. Well, that is pretty much toast. Anytime you see that type of rust effect really on that spark plug, and then as you can see down here by the tip, it's just all black and brown, and that's seen better days, and it's time to go. So 2 for 2 on needing them changed. And again, I'm feeding it in there, and as you can see, I'm just doing this by hand, and that way I can feel and make certain that I'm good and I'm threading in properly. And this whole process is going to change, as you can see down these next 2 that are further back. We're going to have to figure out what we need to do. All right, now we'll put our torque wrench on here. Okay. There it is. Yep. All right, so that's good and done now. We can put the boot back down. Here we go, get it properly seated. Again, we're going to take this and thread it by hand here. And these are really easy to do, so I'm just I'm taking it most of the way, honestly. And then we will finish it. Again, this is a 5/16 shallow socket we have. And just torquing it down until it feels like it's secure and snug. Putting that back, and now on this last one, push that red clip down. And we are done with number 2. All right, number 3 is gonna be a little more difficult because of this wire loom in the way. And I'm gonna have to get some extra torque here. That sucker is, there we go. That one was grabbing on. You know, we almost need an air compressor tool with all this dirt that's in there. But that boot looks good too, so that's encouraging. You always want to inspect your boots and make sure, see if there's any sign of burn or damage or anything like that. And if there is, you need to stop and see if you need to replace it. Since we don't have as much room, I'm not using the 12-inch. I'm going to try to use a 6 attached to a 3. As you can see here, to my deep socket, and we're going to see how we can get this one out. Yeah, that works a lot better, so we should be able to get in there with our ratchet drive here. Yeah, we'll get that. Well, that one didn't make that horrible noise, but still was in there awfully tight. Okay, I'm gonna take it out and see if I can't finish this by hand, which is the question here. Nope, can't, need some more. I think we got it loose now. Let's see if we can get it out of there. There she is. Oh, yeah. Good heavens, look at that right there. That is more fried than Colonel Sanders chicken. That is not good. Let's get this swapped out. All right, so we've got our third plug gapped, and this one's a bit of a funky angle, so I'm gonna try to drop it in there a little differently here. There we go. All right. So we've got it back down, seated here into the spark plug chamber. And again, we are tightening this here by hand to make sure that we're getting it threaded properly. Since this one's at a bit of a tough angle, I'm gonna stop right there and I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more with the ratchet. Okay. And we're gonna see what kind of an angle we can get here with our torque. Oh yeah, okay. Looks like we can get it good. Okay, so there it is. Nice and easy. All right, let's see if we can fish that out. Yep, there we go. Socket's fished out. Now we'll get this boot. And same process here. We're gonna reinstall it. Don't do like I just did there. Make sure your electrical connection's out of the way. Get it seated back. I'm gonna go in here and hand tighten this bolt just the way we've done on the first two. Can still get my 6" apparently, so that's good. There we go. All right, snap that down and that tab goes down there. On this one, since we're at a weird angle here, I've got a 6-foot step ladder out on the side here of the truck. And we're gonna just get a little extra leverage here. There we go. Yeah, all these boots look good, so that's certainly encouraging. I've had it before where the boots that I had looked really bad, and it just kind of depressing when you pull that out and see that. So we've got these hard lines here in our way. So we're gonna have to just drop that 3" in there, connect it while we're down there. Okay, and I think we're gonna have room here. So as you can see, I had to drop the 3" into the chamber, then take the 6" and push it into the 3". Then we're gonna take the 6" and go ahead and connect our ratchet to it right there. So don't expect to put it all in there together. It'll never work. You gotta kind of piece it together like a Lego set here. It would help if I have it turned the right way. Okay, now we're ready. Oh, man. Wow, geez. We had Lou Ferrigno install these spark plugs, apparently. So, the torque on these things was maybe 73, it felt like. It's incredible how much effort I had to put into that. So, all right, so get it started. And at one point, the head of your ratchet's going to run into that hard line there, so you're going to have to do it by hand. Okay, I think I've got it loose. This is the next here impressive thing. We're focusing on the wrong thing here. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So you're gonna have to feed your extensions all the way up here and kind of work it out that way. And as you can see, it is definitely toast. All right, that one came out pretty easy as long as you do it the right way. Now we'll put the new one in. We've got our spark plug gapped. And again, I'm gonna do this the same way. I'm gonna basically slowly drop this 3-inch extension in there. And I didn't just free drop it because I didn't want that. I don't want the spark plug to get damaged. So I connect my 6-inch extension to my 3-inch extension while it's in the chamber. And we're gonna hand tighten it. About to have to change another pair of gloves here. Okay, so that's hand tight nice. We're gonna get the ratchet. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit my torque wrench in here, so we're gonna have to do this the old school way probably. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but we're going to give it the old try here and see if there's enough space. Let's see, where's that gap at? Nope. Not enough room. So we've done 3 of them so far, so you should get a feel when you're torquing down with your torque wrench. Now granted, it's a bit different with a short throw here, but you get a feel for how tight you need to put it, and I feel good with where it's at right there. So all right, so we're good, and now we're going to remove it the same way here. And seat it back. There we go. Actually, we're not going to need the extension on this one. We're not going to have room for it now that we're on top. Okay. Not over torquing that at all. Remember, just go slow on that. Plug it back in. Push your red clip down. And that's it. We have completed the passenger side. Now let's move on to the 4 on the driver's side. This should be easy. We're gonna go ahead and start taking these bolts out. I'll speed up the video and you guys enjoy. In hindsight, you might find it easier to keep these bolts in place until after you remove the electronic connection from the spark plug boot.
Leaving the bolt in place creates more stability at the boot and therefore might make it simpler for you to remove that electronic connection with some confidence. Depending on the age of the vehicle, how well maintained the engine bay has been, how brittle those connections might be, having some additional stability there may provide you with a little more confidence and peace of mind as you remove them from the boot. Some of these tabs on this side were very difficult, and as the video is sped up here, it probably doesn't really give you an idea as to how stubborn they were being. But one thing I would just urge you is to use additional caution. Take your time at this step. Really, the last thing you want to do is break one of these red tabs off. It just causes you so much more trouble down the road than it's worth. So take your time at this step and make sure not to go too fast and regret it.
All right, so we're all wrapped up, a job well done. We changed all 8 spark plugs. Today we use this Autolite Iridium XP product, model number XP5363. I'll put a link in the description to somewhere you guys can find these on your F-150 if you choose to use this product. I will say at the end of the job, some things we learned was that the spark plugs that were in this vehicle, whoever put them in torqued them way over torqued them. They were in there. I was actually afraid a couple of times that we might crack one of them in the block and might have a problem, but we got them all out successfully. The other thing we learned is that these old spark plugs were gapped pretty crazy, all the way from 55 to 68. And I didn't look at all 8 of them. I just probably gauged about 4 of those, but it just really was not running well. We went out on a drive after the spark plug change and reported that the truck had excellent pickup, good responsiveness on the throttle. It looks like it's firing exactly the way it should. So excited to see that this job is well done, and I hope that you guys have learned something from this. Hopefully it helps you provide a good spark plug change on your F-150 if you have an F-150 in these model years. Keep in mind, if you have the EcoBoost version of this F-150 in this model year, your spark plug change may be a little bit different, might look a little different. This is specifically for the 5.0 V8. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you learned something and make it work for your vehicle. Until next time, we'll see you later.